years of Jim Crow genocide, segregation laws to keep the status of the Negro down. Earlier, we were talking about how do you get the young people. You get the young people by involving the young people. You get the young people by saying, you know what? President Barack Obama used his executive order pen and made history for non-citizens. He made history for three special interest groups. They did not include the 96% of the vote the first time that put him over the Senate and the Congress and the White House, and 94% of the vote the second time. And he nominated three Supreme Court justices. He put in another white woman. He made history putting in a Latino woman and turned around and put in another white man. So we have got to get the children just the way he got the children. That Dream Act, D, development, R, relief, E, education, free to graduate school. For who? A, alien, non-citizens who reside in this country and have citizenship somewhere else. He rewarded these border breakers by giving their children a governmental leg up reparations dream act. And it was minors under the age of 31. I know you're thinking minors, 12-year-olds, but when they say minors in the reparations dream act, they talk about people over 30 years old. Not just that, amnesty from any crime, put them above the law, that is not federal, and they get exemption from student loans and student debt that our children whose ancestors could not read or write by law for 246 years, they're drowning in it. So what we tell our young people, you want to vote for Joe Biden, let him give you a down payment on reparation. Let him do the same thing with his executive order pen that Barack Obama did for the non-citizens. Let him give them development, relief, education, free to graduate school for American African minors. A GREAAM Act. Just add an A. And if he can do, and you want amnesty from any crime that's not federal, and you want exemption from student loans and student debt. If he can't do that, why should he insult you by asking for his vote? President Barack Obama did it for non-citizens to reward the children of border breakers, people that broke into this country. And if he can do it for them, and he can't do it for you who's a citizen as a down payment on reparations. Why should you vote for if he can't do that for you? So this is what the message that you give out to the young people. Barack Obama, executive order. We don't need the Senate to vote. We don't need the Congress to vote. We need Joe Biden to pick up his executive order pen and do precisely what Barack Obama did with his executive order pen. Now, can anybody tell me why that shouldn't be done? I'm looking for a show in the hands.
It should be done immediately.
You know? So you want a GREAAM? You demand. You're going to tell us that you can do this for the non-citizens, but you can't do it for us. And in conclusion, before we talk about reparations, we need to talk about Nineteen
Stand in
fifty-four.
front of the mic a little bit. Turn it around.
1954 to 2024 is, guess what? 70 years. 70 is the full life expectancy of a person. Those 6-year-old children in 1954 are now 76-year-old senior citizens. The ones that the government said the segregation laws were unconstitutional, they only existed to keep the status of the Negro down. And it was doubtful that these children had suffered so much damage that it was doubtful they would ever overcome it. Well, now, as I said before, those 6-year-old children are 76-year-old senior citizens. And we are ready to set up and say, no, we have not overcome it. We, as Jim Crow genocide survivors, the impacted group from 76 years old to 84 years old, that grammar school group, we are saying we want reparations for our Jim Crow genocide damage, in addition to the 345 years of laws that kept us down. Do the math. 246 plus 88 plus 11. Federal laws against us as a people. And we're running around here talking about people of color. These are people of countries. When they say Asians, they're talking about countries. Japan, China, the country of India. We're talking about Vietnam. These were powerful countries. And then when they say Latinos, they're talking about countries, people of countries. Puerto Rico, Mexico, Spain, Cuba, countries. And here we are thinking that we gotta say brown every time we open our mouth to say black, and these people have nothing in common with us. They are the founding fathers of the transatlantic slave trade that named us Negroes because it meant black in Spanish. And Barack Obama said black has no standing in law. He was not the first black president. He was the first Kenyan American president. And he has vacated the word Negro that can't be used at all. So this is what genocide is. This is the definition of it that they came up with when the Jews got the Holocaust in December 11, 1946. This is what it is. It says that genocide means any of the following. In the present convention, genocide means any of the following acts committed intended to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethical, racial, or religious group as such. Number 8, killing members of the group. All that lynching and stuff was genocide. Number 2, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group. If you are 6 years old when you get the harm and it's doubtful that you will ever overcome it, it is irreparable. It is serious. And if it's serious, by definition, it is genocide. Causing, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part. When they won't educate our children, when they're out here redlining and not allowing us to have access to jobs or training in it, that is genocide. Imposing measures intended to prevent birth within the group, putting all them birth control centers and in our communities to prevent birth with sterilization, and that is genocide. Finally, forcibly transferring children of the group to another group. DCFS takes them and give them to white people. That is genocide. So we're not just talking about any one of these issues. We're talking about every one of these issues. It's genocide. So we got to get out there and do what Reverend Dr. Prophet King said. Sons of former slaves and former slave owners is going to have to get together and save the America that we built. Trump said African Americans built this nation. Biden said immigrants built this nation. The one you think is right is the one that you should vote for. Don't you think so?
Say that, Mama D.
Live on
Say
cut.
that, Mama D.
Let me say this. What she's talking about is reciprocity. And that's something we need to understand. She's correct in her analysis that if President Obama can do an executive order